Asia. Not the band, but the place. Continent, I guess is a better word. Pretty much all of Asia is a hotspot for video games. Most of the games made in the Western market make it over to Asia in some way or another. However, it's not the same the other way around. They have a lot of exclusive games. Many of them have never even made it over to the West. I thought it would be kinda cool to check out the games that we never got. So this is a small list of the games that the West never got. This is Glorious Mission, not to be confused with Glorious Mission, the PUBG clone, or Glorious Mission the soap opera, or Glorious Mission the movie, or Glorious Mission the other soap opera. This game could have used a better name. So what is this game? This game is China's custom Call of Duty clone. It even got funding from the PLA, People's Liberation Army. That's just China's army, by the way. So this is 100% a propaganda game. Kinda like America's Army, if you know what that is. Except Glorious Mission isn't like a milsim game, it's a Call of Duty arcade shooter. It's actually 1-to-1 with Call of Duty in some areas. Now I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they've stolen some animations from Call of Duty. The animations would probably be stolen from Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops, as those were the more recent Call of Duties at the time. Let me tell you something right here. I'm not playing this game. Not that I don't want to, believe me, I looked everywhere for a download link to this game, but I couldn't find anything. So what you're seeing is someone else's footage that was recorded around when the game came out. I tried to do some detective work and see if this game is even still online. I don't know. I went to the official website, it had a download link but it didn't work. I went to some third-party websites and they wanted me to download viruses. As you can imagine, I didn't download those. I did find a YouTube video explaining how to install it. It's pretty old and all the download links for everything have gone away. So I think it's safe to say that this game is probably not online anymore. There is a new game from China called Glorious Mission. It's a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds clone. I don't know if it's official or not, so I can't really comment on that. China claims that 300 million people have downloaded and played this game, but you should probably take that with a grain of salt, as this is China we're talking about. It's also a game made directly by China, so that also isn't helping. Now, as you can imagine, this game had some controversy. This game has a campaign mode, and in the campaign mode it looks like you're gunning down US soldiers. Oddly enough, the US didn't really seem to care, but Russia did for some reason, and they brought it up to China, and China said, nah, they're not US soldiers. Nah. And that was about it for the controversy. The US didn't even care. No one really cared. That's also about it for Glorious Mission 2. I'd put a bounty out for the archival of this game, but I don't have any money, and I also don't care that much.
Shut down.
Titanfall Online. And no, I'm not talking about the North Star launcher. That's probably what will come up when you Google this. I'm talking about the one made by Nexon. Yeah, the Counter-Strike Online guys. Nexon made this with the help from EA to make it more suitable for Korean players. I'm not sure what was wrong with the first Titanfall that didn't suit Korean players, but they have to have their own version. And yeah, unlike North Star, which is Titanfall 2, this is Titanfall 1. Never hear anyone talk about Titanfall 1, so I just thought it'd be kind of fun to bring up. So what all does this add? Well, like any Nexon property, it of course adds really overpowered weapons, like a double-barrel shotgun and a minigun for Titans. Speaking of Titans, there's one new one they added called the Destroyer. This Titan had its own special where it had a giant laser cannon on its shoulder, and it would, of course, shoot it when it was ready. Also, they've removed the original pilots. In their place are some new characters. I'm not really sure why these were changed, and I'm not sure I'll ever know. There's also 3 exclusive maps, Dawn, Nest, and Box. Nest is tied to a new mode called Demolition. Demolition being the standard plant the bomb mode that most games have nowadays. This game was never released to the public. It had some closed beta tests, but was officially cancelled on July 9th, 2018. It wasn't being received all that well, so EA just decided to shut it down. A fan server is being made for this though. It's currently not out to the public, but there are some videos floating around of it. There's a link below to the creator's YouTube channel. There's also a Discord server floating around somewhere, but I don't really like Discord, so I can't tell you how active it really is. Borderlands Online. And yes, I know all Borderlands games are online, but this one is actually just called Borderlands Online. It was Borderlands 1, but for the Chinese market. Or at least it looks more like Borderlands 1. There's not a whole lot of information actually on this game out there, but from what I can gather, this game was never released to the public. It did have its own story and its own characters for the most part. Speaking of characters, you could make your own Vault Hunter. You would choose a base ability, but then you could customize the hell out of them. The game also had a new weapon manufacturer. In Borderlands, weapon manufacturers are a big deal if you didn't know. The new company is called Polaris. I don't know what made it so different from the other weapon manufacturers. Like I said before, there's very little information on this game. Members of the Chinese press were the only people ever able to play this game. There are a few YouTube videos of just normal people playing the game, so I could be wrong about this. They also could have faked being members of the press, who knows. Take everything in this video with a grain of salt, as it's kinda hard to find information on some of these titles. This game wasn't around for very long either, a year at the most. It started development sometime in 2014, and then in development sometime in 2015. That's pretty much it for this game. Like I said, information is pretty scarce. Unlike Glorious Mission, this is a game I can actually play. This game is called Battle Teams 2, but if you translate it, it's called Life and Death Sniper 2 National Service. It's probably not actually called that, it's probably just called, well, Battle Teams 2. This game has pretty much every game imaginable under its belt. It's a classic Call of Duty feeling team deathmatch mode. It also has a Counter-Strike bomb defusal mode, and Dust 2 is one of the most popular maps for this mode. You know, Dust 2, the most beloved Counter-Strike map ever. It has an infection mode, but instead of playing as zombies in infection, you play as weird little dinosaur men, which is kinda funny, I guess. It even has a battle royale, which oddly enough reminded me a lot of Blackout. And finally, it has a Left 4 Dead-like zombie survival mode. Well, I guess they're not zombies, they're like weird alien creature things. I'm not really sure what to call them. It even has special infected like Left 4 Dead, they just didn't care, they just ripped it off. That is 2 Valve properties they have ripped off. And to make it even worse, this game is on Steam. This game really does just have a bit of everything in it. There's a few more modes, but I can never find anyone playing them. They're just gimmick modes anyway, so I don't think I'm missing much. Now, I don't know who actually developed this game, but I think it was funded by the Tencent Institute of Games. I don't know what they're teaching over there, but I know what they should be teaching. It's optimization. Sometimes when you start the game up, it'll just run awful. I don't know why. Other days I'll start it up and I'll have no problems at all. Hey, it's me from the future. As I'm making this video, they've updated the game. It runs fine now. I haven't had any of these performance problems since. So I guess the problem's fixed, at least for now. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Is this game pay to win? Not that I know of, at least not that I can tell. Keep in mind the entire interface is in Chinese, very little is English. So I don't know if there's any differences between a normal AK or a golden AK. They both seem to do the same damage and stuff to me. Well, that doesn't mean there isn't plenty of stuff to buy. There's several different battle passes, there's several different shops, each with their own items. Some of it you get for free if you just wait long enough, others you have to pay real life money. There's several different types of currencies besides real life money, like weird tickets, blue coins, gold coins, dog coins, the list goes on. They seem to add more with every update too, so it just keeps getting even more confusing. I actually thought about buying something in the shop for this video, but I'm broke and I don't have any Chinese yuan to spend anyway, so this game is free to play. I'll leave a link to it below. Keep in mind, if you're from the US, you're gonna have 300 plus ping on any server, but despite that, I still actually did pretty good, so you might do pretty good too. Like I said, link in the description for the game. Before I close the video, I'd like to give some honorable mentions. Now these are games I couldn't cover for one reason or another. Crossfire HD. No, not Crossfire X, these are completely different games. Although they both do seem to share a lot of content between each other. Or they did before Crossfire X shut down. I couldn't cover this just because there's not a whole lot of information out there on it. In order to play it, I would need a QQ account, which I don't have. I would have to be, well, a Chinese citizen to have that. If it ever comes to the West, I'll definitely make a video about it, but for now, I'll just have to leave it be. Plants vs. Zombies Online 2. If you didn't know, China is a very big fan of Plants vs. Zombies. I don't know why, but they love Plants vs. Zombies in China. They loved it so much, EA and PopCap made their own game. This game has so much new crap added to it, I could make an entire video about it in the future. But it's also been shut down. However, I do have a build of the game archived if anyone wants to check it out and see if they can make it work. I'll go ahead and put it in the description. Other than that, that's the end of the video. If you liked the video, leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. If you know of any obscure games, please leave a comment down below, I'd love to check them out. I've had a lot of games recommended to me and I'm putting them all on a giant list, so don't think I don't actually see your comments about them, I read every single one. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video.